Dr. Domfe, where Kwasiapa, where Jimmy Pa?
Oh,
where Kwasiapa, Unime, on him. I know, Odidi Matana, so whiny. I said, Dr. Domfe, Doc, na say wo mi ase sika wo phone so ade ne yenhia mano amano na no meni na no na o ga jaga
you want position yen mo polls data no mi bo mu din yen
polls data as the foundation for prophecy no
and I mean katira wo no yen ye di mo bo say ade ne ye hwehwe mu oni so for ye hwehwe mu ade ne say and then polls no economic intelligence.
But please talk to Ghanaians and show that you have at least a little bit of respect for their thinking.
They don't care. What they care is a brother bomb who buy you. Naming the person and we are not the meeting. What do you mean? Until at the new bread, eba.
Omokasa yenti omo. Na yansantam to mean some for momo.
Now, I say the current chiefs. So therefore, there was a past chief.
After another danko kufuado so ebu omamu na ten wa wuri ni twa 8 years wie bia no nyame ebu aten dada
no mun create 10,000 kenofuriata and some famaye. Are you not shocked?
Now, fire on the mountain for Dennis Michael Sabaji Wabra. It is cited that waiting to be a concern beyond the Quabima. Government spokesperson Felix Ofosu Kwachi Tumno. I'm on a shutdown. This is a complete showdown. I want to say the Bomazana Chevino phone will be a WhatsApp area. Check out your comment section straight to the news. Now, Dennis Michael Sabaji Sadiq Adams. Yeah, one particular interview bia. He was campaigning for Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia and also trying to make it look like that BBR the NPP did know was actually right and good. But very unfortunately, we don't know one kind of crabby with regards to certain figures to be within the economy during the time of the Nado Naban. Now, very unfortunately, Sabahia, the news outlet Ningano was not in favor of NPP at the time because they were just making excuses according to Felix Ofosu Kwachi. Now, that information, a lot of people felt a bit convinced that, oh, okay, no, but no. So a lot of people were not convinced. It was just about the 1% they were convinced because these people were controlling the line of the MPP. And when the Felix Ofosu Kwachi were prompting her, obey a showdown. Now, very unfortunately for Felix very unfortunately for Dennis Michael Sabaji, Felix Ofosu Kwachi decided to sit on Metro TV. Through an interview, 120 minutes on Kasano, he decided to use about 15 minutes to speak against Dennis Michael Sabaji and intro training. Also, Sabaji had Krumahano. No quarrel for no quarrel, I am a man for the one payday. Now, who there? Saban ba, na Saban Yejuma, na so the deeper federal Yejuma. In your man for no Jumbo Krawonka. Nanda Ghana man will campaign for John Domani Mahama, His Excellency. No, 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 there. On your shocking put today. Dennis Michael Sabaji will bring him there during your time. You were giving excuses. Instead of begging and apologizing Ghana for now, it took one man went to one in their favor. Instead of begging them, look at what you are doing. It's either me 20 years now abandono by Bakari and Copon away. If we could say so, them now bumpy. Now say and Copon there, now sass of far, I'm friend winging there. One fan chain, I now one sham coming at the meet up there. Also, Sabaya, when it comes to maybe to the good board, nada. All of these ideas were there. But nobody was forcing Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia to take to promise Ghanaians there. Obutum no waji the keys of the currency no no that IGP Nikotokum. Nobody was forcing them. One of force one that one question Central Region Cape Coast they are going to build an airport for them. Nobody. But you could see that even at the presidency themselves, they were confused. Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia but this week but promised one day, Mamon A. No we bisa na dank akufo the next time Obaba no I catch him on the yankari Mamon A. No actually even at the presidency you people are so much confused. Nasabi, if a house is divided against itself, how do you think it can strive? I don't know you who with regards to that man coming in and in Commander Kassan say it's safe where Felix Ofosu Kwachi was getting to her. You can see very clearly that Dennis Michael Sabaji has done a lot of mistakes when this seminar came. Now that is the reason why people are anticipating that he was invited to come and answer questions with regards to this seminar or Angel TV. But I went to one more Metro TV to meet Felix Ofosu Kwachi. This is actually trending here because the kind of championing of commanding the matters are right in the way Dennis Michael Sabaji was putting all effort to convince Ghanaians now. Because he said when you go to Twitter, he's always convincing people. kakra, them, and people are joining. But because of Felix Ofosu the people are not joining the meetings anymore. Wama everything that Dennis Mercos about the build over the past week, we do. Now, oh, you home. How can Felix Ofosu understands this thing so much there? Only him can just face Dennis Mercos Abaje. Ono. Na wama bukome wa yen komo. Yaba boshe na yete kakra Dennis Mercos Abaje ozin kankan. Not too much long, but yete in about 2 minutes. Yente in some near we are. Yako oye Felix Ofosu na kachi ne hono na betensam baba zane she video for will be WhatsApp de we acha wadro comment section yenkete Dennis Mercos Abaje den sam no kai na website do yan tro no na we yambra na yebete Felix Ofosu na reply or the money na
ka beti we kacha almost $1 improve which is true 14 to 10
Yes.
inflation they moving from a drastic 23% to 5% and now back on last one year day fuel moving from 14 cities to 11 cities that is all true perfect. Maybe you teach any. No could be on Kibia.
One make statement say or more cancer.
Oh no, but at least when I go to my trade, I can even show you so many tags. So many tags.
Who?
Oh no, so many people. I mean, when you go on social media, I cannot pinpoint, but it's there. When we say conversations on social media, you say even the NDC people, NDC, and penny for Lankasa, Okasa and Akanutum. Felix Ofosu akebi, Sami Jemfi akebi, Elikem Kotoko akebi. These are people who can say Kanutum. Na momo ye west.
But is it not true?
What is true?
That you
what is
the
true?
economy west.
It is a lie. Wait, hold on.
No.
Hold on, it's a lie. It's a lie.
Is it not true that
it's a lie? It's not true.
No. Is it not true that Ghanaians voted against your government because you made the
Don't change your way. It is not true that it is not true that we make the economy worse.
Is it not
true? No, it's not true.
The NPP government
It is not true.
Okay, so
now let's go into the conversations
on the economy.
You see, me a teacher ni.
Okay.
Me try de ewo kokren to me.
Right.
Ye kotoa beti ananado. Ye kotoa beti ananado no.
Yes.
Niema na me gina so kotoa beti ananado ne se mabrabo mo ayeden. Abrabo mo ayeden na ye economy. Abrabo mo ayeden na ye economy.
Right.
Abrabo mo adwo na ye economy. Ema me. Wo na we ya aban na wo kra books na wo chocho mo no. You can have all your means to that output.
Exactly.
But me de o productivity America ne se mabrabo mbedwo.
Yes.
Eno ho asa na mebeka. 80 inflation ekosho.
Right.
Ye fi abemu na inflation was 23%. Ye fi abemu na inflation if $1 14 cedis.
Yeah.
And see na money be break cost. At least these two indicators I know is what at the moment is better than it was in 2024. Otherwise, the economic growth and everything, 2024 even the economy grew better than 2025
inflation
grew.
And dollar.
And
a food.
2024 the economy grew even better than 2025. But I'm finding into inflation, dollar, and a fool. Sanya mami and Sawi.
And Unkuana.
No, meba. Sanya mami and Sawi. And yes, and Nabafemu.
Okay.
And na meba behe. Suddenly, I any idea in this voka. Or Maka before account.
About the economy.
Yes. These are the three things they say.
No. I'm sure say who person who can't dear or more can say dear Ghana for
mention that's a Ghana for saying Ghana. And then this is for Kawasam. Say being almost the Biaka bit to catch. Almost $1 improve it, which is true. 14 to 10.
Yes.
Inflation they moving from a drastic 23% to 5%. And now, back on last one year, day, fuel moving from 14 cities to 11 cities. That is all true. Perfect. Me a teacher ni, no cooking to me. Me a child here.
Yes.
Bosumi biya aketuye etuame in 2024. Na 3,000 cities. 2025 we are 2.9%. Nti biya ka amudam fans akwa 3,500.
Yes.
Okay. Me ji misika e wo de amede ye. Wonso wuji usika e wo de ade ye. Be isa ne se sunu aduane ye nyina ye dinti. Ye be fa ne ma me no mienu nyina ye tua hoka. De ya hwe. Be boa.
Yes.
2024 na inflation 23%. Dollar 14 cities. Fuel 14 cities no. Now 3,000 cities na wo je no. Ukutua wo electricity afemu ni nyina utua 1,000 cities per year. Afemu ni nyina. 2025.
Yes.
Inflation if 23. About drastic 5%. Fuel moving from 14.
Now, the moment of truth. Felix Ofosu no response or the Dennis Mercos about, this is the part I'm about. It's a very interesting video. Now, I wouldn't say anything for less that this was hit right on the nail. On the normal command, very interesting because you could see that the dynamism And nsɛm a Dennis Marcus Abaje wanted to support NDC kakra na wa atwa bechi kakra asini na iska meches boy. The truth is, upon believe something. Upon me who do reason a quarter, but no, uta. Yet say Felix Ofosu kwachi na wankasa sansroa. I shall be built to no while. But okay, share video from your WhatsApp. Maybe share what your comment section.
It came into any and every pressure. So expenditures were overrun by significant margins. The moment you do that, you create a hole in your finances, which affects everything, including your currency. Because you are under pressure to look for money to pay debts. So that is what we have done. Fiscal discipline, sticking to the budget. So when you look at the budget presented for 2026, you see the numbers. We set a primary balance target of 1.5% surplus. Okay. We did 1.6% surplus. The deficit is within range. Every indicator is within range. Look at inflation. It is now under 6%, 5.4%, I believe. That is the lowest since 1999, when we recorded 4.8%. In the entire 16 years that the NPP governed this country, they never achieved under 6% inflation. I think the lowest they achieved was 7 or so. The last time we had anything around that was in 1999, which is what, 26 years ago, or 27 years ago. So it shows you what level of work has gone in. Today, our debt. We set a target that by 2034, which was 9 years from 2025 when the target was set, our debt to GDP ratio should come to 45%. Now we are around 47%, right. 48%. So our debt to GDP ratio, which measures whether or not your debt is sustainable, is within acceptable limits. You remember that at a point under the NPP, it went to 104%. Yeah. Look at the exchange rate. At the interbank, it was almost 15 cedis to a dollar. But when you went to the forex bureau, it was around 17 cedis. We know that in 2024, early 2025, that is what we inherited. Today, at interbank, it's under 11 cedis. When you go to the forex bureau, you may get it between 11.5, 12.5. Yes, that's the truth. Why? We do foreign exchange transactions. Right. Today, when you go to your banks, the rate is lower. It's under 11 cedis. It wasn't the case under them. And because of that, it led to a cost of living crisis, which resulted in extreme hardships for our people. So we have brought the exchange rate under control through the gold board arrangements, which ensures that we have forex liquidity. In other words, you have sufficient forex to give to those who want it to transact business. Okay. And that ensures that the rate comes down. The reason why that is important, and in fact, Sly, he may not know, but let him check Dr. Bamia's speech at Central University. In that speech where he said, if the fundamentals of the economy are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. He also said that for an economy like ours, the most important indicator for prudent economic management is the exchange rate. The reason is that because we are import dependent, it affects almost everything that we use in our daily lives. So once it goes up, the prices go up. And it creates a major cost of living crisis for people. And people begin to suffer the hardships that were prevalent before we came to power. Because we brought the exchange rate under control, we've seen significant improvements in the cost of living. Now, the reason why I say this is I know that
Dr. Aminata says the exchange rate was coming down anyway.
It was coming where? When we came in, I've told you the rates. At the interbank, it was almost 15 cedis.
Yes.
And then on the forex markets, which on the forex bureaus, who are also accredited dealers in foreign currency, it was almost 17 cedis. So it was not at a level that was acceptable to the Ghanaian people. It was coming down from where? We were not the very ones who took it to 17 cedis in November 2022, I believe. So it came to 15 cedis at interbank. How is that beneficial to the people of Ghana? And it made prices go up. But since then, since we took over and managed it better and ensured that it came down, the cost of living situation has improved. I have noted that the MPP have attempted to douse the improved cost of living and create false narratives. They say that the cost of living now is worse than in 2024. That is an absolute falsehood. You see, Moro, one of the things I learned very early in my political life is that you don't argue with the electorates because you won't win. They are like your bosses. You cannot argue with your bosses here and survive. You understand me? So all public officials like myself are enjoined to show respect to the people. You must appreciate their sensibilities. And in your posturing and commentary, you must be sensitive to them. So we are not allowed to exaggerate the impact of our policies. Neither are we allowed to say things that are not true. So we can't sit here and gloat, for instance, that something is better when it is not. But when there is fact, objective fact, that supports a decrease in the cost of living, that one can be asserted. The same principle applies to the opposition. You are also not allowed to peddle on truths in order to carry electoral favor. When you say that the cost of living is worse now than it was under the MPP, it is false. Moro, we all live in Ghana. You, myself, Sly, we live in this country.
Right.
We used to buy things under MPP, and we are buying things now. And we will continue to buy things for as long as we live. Everybody who will be honest will tell you that prices are not the same as they were under the MPP for many items. If indeed Sly is a former MP, so he appreciates it. Look, when you go to Parliament, there's a record of this. The Trades Committee, they have a report in which they capture the input of Guta, which shows that the prices of over 4,500 items have come down.
Okay.
If you do a market survey, simple, you will see it every day. Look, fuel today. Do you know that Goil is selling fuel under 10 cedis this morning? They've advertised it.
Under 10 cedis?
Yes. The same Goil was selling that same fuel for 15 cedis under the MPP. In fact, there was a time under the MPP when diesel sold for 23 cedis. Me, when I campaigned in AAK, the vehicle I was using, a 4-wheel drive, I used to buy fuel. To fill it is 2,000 cedis. Today, you need 1,400 cedis to do that. There are people who used to fill their tanks for 2,100 who are doing so now for under 1,000 cedis, including people who are of MPP extraction who have publicly said this. And fuel is important because it runs through the economy. Yes, that is it. Under 9 cedis. They sell it at regular price at 10 cedis. They have stations where they are selling at under 10 cedis, 9.9 cedis. They couldn't do this under the MPP because of how it costs them to import the fuel that they sell. If you go to Star Oil and others, they also have very low prices. So, Moro, today, if you go to the pump, is it true that it is more expensive to buy fuel than it was under the MPP? Okay. So, the cost of fuel, has it come down or has it gone up? It has come down. Right. So, when you say the cost of living has gone up, are you telling the truth or not? Moro, I have these items here. Cement, petrol, iron rods, beans, pure water, maize. It used to sell at 1,600 cedis a bag under the MPP. Today, it's around 620 cedis. The Gino rice, a kilogram of rice, used to sell at a certain rate. It is down. Frito used to sell at 930 cedis a box.
Okay.
Now it is 620 cedis. Oats, Starkist, Calipo, Coca-Cola, oil, Coconte, yam, palm fruits, all those things have come up.
Okay.
So when you go out and say that it is more expensive, it is not true. I hear them also say that they are paying now, they are paying more for electricity now than they paid under the NDC. Tomorrow, the last time I was here, I explained. As part of the IMF deal, they agreed to quarterly tariff adjustments and a major tariff adjustment in September, October. Page 71 of the last review report that was published before they left power, when they took 360 million dollars from the IMF, captured on page 71 that as a prior action to accessing that money, government had agreed, that's the NPP government had agreed and bound the government of Ghana to quarterly tariff adjustments, and a major one in September and October. So you go and agree that this should be done, and when it is done, you turn around and say that cost of living has gone up. So when you were agreeing, what were you thinking?